The sheer number of apps and web tools that employees use daily is truly astounding. Many businesses now juggle between 40 and 60 different digital tools, and 71% of employees have reported that this abundance of apps makes work more complex. But there's an even bigger issue lurking beneath this complexity: app fatigue. The constant barrage of notifications and alerts isn't just exhausting, it's becoming a serious cybersecurity problem. Let's explore why app fatigue matters and what businesses can do about it. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm Michael Kinnett, CEO and founder of Eternal Networks. And here at Eternal Networks, we believe that knowledge is power. So every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, I go live on all of our social media pages to talk about different technology and cybersecurity topics to help educate and empower others in their use of technology. These live streams aim to help small business owners and really anyone in general, right, feel more confident in your knowledge of business technology and cybersecurity. At Eternal Networks, we're dedicated to creating safe and secure environments for businesses and people to do what they love, what they're passionate about. And we believe that staying educated on technology is a key part in helping that and in fortifying your environment. At the end of the live stream, I'll answer questions from the audience. So if you have any of those, throw them in at any point in time. All right, now for our discussion, right? You've probably experienced this if you're like most businesses, that the number of apps and digital tools has skyrocketed, right? The employees use these. It's really like over the past several years, all of these cloud apps and web tools have just exploded. From communication tools like Teams or Slack to productivity platforms and niche software, businesses often rely on dozens of different apps. Unfortunately, this leads to a flood of tech in everyday work life. Mentions, updates, alerts, passwords, notifications, right? All of these different things, and it can get very overwhelming for your employees. This phenomenon has been labeled as app fatigue, and it can have far-reaching consequences. So what kind of impact can app fatigue have on your company? I'm going to break it down a little bit here in several different ways. First, it leads to ignored updates. Constant interruptions can make your employees feel perpetually behind. As a result, small tasks like clicking to install a software update are often ignored. Unfortunately, many of these updates include critical security patches, which, when left unaddressed, can leave vulnerabilities that can be exploited in your system. So this all leads to greater risk for cyber attacks on your network. Ignored updates don't just affect the individual, they really can compromise entire systems. For example, in 2017, the WannaCry ransomware attack exploited unpatched systems affecting hundreds of thousands of computers globally. This highlights the potential scale of damage caused by something as simple as skipping an update. This increase in the number of apps we're using also leads to password reuse. Each new app requires a login. And with employees juggling an average of 191 passwords, password reuse really becomes, I don't like using the word inevitable, but really, without proper systems in place, it's inevitable, right? There's no way we can remember that many different passwords. So weak or reused passwords are a leading cause of credential breaches, which are a major factor in cloud security incidents. A compromised password isn't just a security problem, it's a productivity killer, right? When accounts are breached, IT teams must spend valuable time fixing the systems, addressing the issues, resetting the accounts, and investigating the extent of the damage. And during many of that time, employees are not able to work. So it can be a big problem. All right. When feeling overwhelmed due to app fatigue, employees might start disabling notifications. We've probably all done that, where we just like, look, I'm behind in my work. I can't deal with all these. And so you just turn off notifications altogether. While some alerts like thread responses may not be that big of a deal, right? They're not critical. But others, such as anti-malware warnings, security prompts, they're vital to your business's security. So turning off the wrong alerts can have severe consequences. Beyond security, disabled alerts can also hurt collaboration, right? Missed reminders about project deadlines or meeting updates can lead to disorganized teams, missed business opportunities, missed meetings. It's all a problem, right? All right. One of the other issues from app fatigue, and I think this is probably one of the biggest ones. We call it cognitive overload and burnout. Constant barrage of notifications. It doesn't just impact productivity, it affects employee well-being, their mental health. Cognitive overload from managing multiple apps, multiple notifications can lead to burnout. It can lead to reduced job satisfaction and higher turnover rates. It's not just a morale issue. It's a costly problem for businesses and can be detrimental to the mental health of employees. So all of this stuff with app fatigue, right? We've discussed how it can impact your business and your employees in negative ways. And I think it's important to notice that we can't really just eliminate many of these apps. We can't say, oh, well, instead of 30 apps, let's just get down to 10 apps and that's going to eliminate all these problems. If it were only that simple, right? Many of these apps are way more useful than not having them. They save time, they lead to better efficiencies, they make our lives easier, while at the same time making it harder in other ways, right? So what we need to do is develop some strategies that can help regain control of this, right? So here's some of our top tips for helping with these problems with app fatigue. First, we're going to start off by saying, maybe you should streamline your applications, consolidate tools where possible. Platforms like Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace provide multiple functionalities under one roof, reducing the need for redundant apps and passwords. In addition, perform regular audits of your tech stack to identify apps that are underutilized or redundant. Do you really need OneDrive and Dropbox and Google Drive, right? Consolidate tools to eliminate cost and reduce complexity. It's also important that you optimize notifications, right? Don't just disable all the notifications and ignore them, and don't just waste all this time, right? Work with your IT team to configure the notifications so that you're only receiving the ones that matter the most. This reduces distraction while ensures that those critical alerts are not missed. Encourage your employees and your team to customize the notifications on your devices so that you can prioritize those most essential and critical alerts. Training sessions on managing notification settings can help to empower your teams and your employees to take control of their tech environment. For email notifications, you can create automated rules that move the noisy alerts to their own folder where they can be reviewed later on at specific intervals instead of overloading and distracting you throughout the day. All right, when talking about the updates and other things that are missed by all this app fatigue and just ignoring notifications, automate that. Automate the software updates through managed IT services, through your IT team working with that, using outsourced companies such as Eternal Networks, right? Remove that task from the employee's plate. Make sure that those updates are happening, that those essential critical patches are being installed promptly, which improves productivity and security. So your team doesn't have to worry about any of those pop-up notifications or taking time to do that. Also, automated updates reduces downtime. Employees don't have to interrupt their workday to handle those updates, which leads to smoother workflows and better security. It's also important that in your environment that you're fostering open communication. Encourage employees to discuss notification settings with management or any other problems that they're having with app fatigue and the things that we've already talked about. This two-way communication helps identify pain points and create a more efficient, less disruptive workflow. Consider implementing an anonymous feedback system where employees can voice concerns about app fatigue and suggest improvements. This ensures that everyone's voice is heard without fear of judgment. Frequently, when we go in and we do IT audits and other things, we like talking with management, with the owners, with the decision makers in the company, and we get the story of what's going on. But we also like to go and talk to some of the other users that aren't making the decisions. And a lot of times we learn additional things that management's not aware of. Apps that they're having problems with, things that they're struggling with, right? That they're not understanding, that's not working correctly. And so having that two-way communication where your team feels that they can share information with management will help to identify areas of inefficiency and lead to a better overall environment for your team and your company. All right. That's pretty much it for my tips on this today. But if app fatigue is affecting you or your business, don't wait. Don't put off making changes. Start making changes now. Even if it's one little change, even if it's turning off one notification that's noisy that you don't care about. If you've got any questions about this, we'd love to talk to you about how we can help you to reduce app fatigue in your environment and make sure you're getting the benefit of all of these amazing tools that we have in place and we have available to us. So if you have questions about that, you can schedule a one-on-one with me or anything tech related, cybersecurity related. I love talking about IT, cybersecurity. I'm very passionate about it. I love educating others. I love it when I see in their eyes when I'm talking to somebody when it clicks and they're like, oh, that's why it does that. That's what that means, right? It makes more sense and they're able to move forward and improve their business and focus on all the things that they love. So schedule time, drop me a message, send us a call. There's lots of ways to reach out to us. I don't see any questions from the live audience in the chat. So if you do have any questions, send it on over. We'd love to help you out in any way that we can. Thanks for joining. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Add a comment with any questions or thoughts that you might have. We'll respond to those. Your feedback really does help us to create more content that's valuable to you and your organizations. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon so that you don't miss any updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to help you however we can with your technology and cybersecurity. You can visit our website at itnet.works for any other questions. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.